Hello and welcome to the Late Night Gamers Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel.
And I'm Daniel's co-host, Jeff Wheaton. We're going to talk about video games tonight.
What else are we going to talk about?
Hey, that's what our show's about.
The gamers. I don't even know what we're calling it. It's just
the
something late at night.
Yeah. It'll say in the title of the video or sound thing. Well, I don't know what
we're winging it.
On. Yeah. And that's the best way to do it. You know, we just threw our hands up in the air and said, let's do this. So how are you doing tonight, Daniel?
I'm doing alright, you know. How about you?
Well, of course I don't know. That's why I asked you. I'm doing great tonight. Just finished a big, long stretch of playing video games, actually. Been playing a lot of Bloodborne and Arkham Knight, actually. And, a couple other games I'd like to talk about on the show tonight. This morning. It's 1 a.m. where we are recording this right now.
In beautiful Kansas City.
Yes, the Kansas City metro area, to be specific or less specific. Either way, I guess I'll start us off on some topics here tonight. I've been playing some, like I said just a few minutes ago, I've been playing some games recently. City Skylines is one of them, which I think is one that you've kind of had an interest in a little bit for a while. You haven't had, I don't think you've had a chance to pick it up yet.
Is that the new one? The new city builder?
Yeah, from Paradox Interactive. I believe it was actually made in Unity by a team of about 7 people. And from what I've played of it, it appears to be everything that that SimCity 5 from Maxis promised to be and failed to be. It is everything that everyone wanted from it.
SimCity 5, it was alright, but it
had issues.
It was way too small a scale. SimCity 4
Honestly,
blew it out of the water.
I feel like I didn't have much of an issue with the scale. There were just more gameplay issues I had an issue with, where there was just too many mechanics that seemed really transparent.
Well, the thing is,
like,
it's so small, then you run out of stuff to do, and you can't.
That's also true.
And it just, after a while, it just becomes.
They wanted to
ridiculous.
emphasize the whole like interconnected cities thing, which I feel like SimCity 4 did better anyways, but this is in a multiplayer environment, I guess. It is an interesting experiment in trying to make SimCity an MMO, and I feel like it just didn't really work. This City Skylines, I feel, is everything that basically everyone wanted from SimCity 5. It's got a lot of really awesome things. When you can like follow your citizens around. Like if you click a car, the same citizen gets in it in that car and drives that car to the same workplace and back to the same house every day. Everything is consistent. Everything works basically exactly as you would expect it to, as you'd want it to. And one of the things I thought was really cool that I don't think was in any of the SimCity games actually is you can actually declare districts of your city,
Really?
and you can apply certain policies to those districts.
No.
So like,
okay. Continue.
Well, like I said, you can basically use a brush to basically mark out as part of your city as a district, and then you can say, okay, for this district we're going to limit water use, and then for this district we're going to limit electricity use and stuff like that. It's a really interesting thing that can add to the strategy.
So, biggest question is the music kick-ass?
I actually really like the music. It reminded me of one of the SimCity games when I was playing it, and I can't remember which one because it's been a few days.
Because SimCity music has always been iconic.
And
yeah,
definitely.
Just over the top, ridiculously crazy.
This is a very orchestrated, very relaxing soundtrack. It's not like SimCity 5 where it was just kind of generic.
Just it kind of went with, didn't it? Wasn't like over time it would like get. It was like it was like depended on the mood or something.
I don't know.
Or it was like when you go into put water, it completely changed it.
Yeah, the thing with 5, I think, was that it was one song that would kind of add more instruments as your city grew, which is an interesting idea, but the song just wasn't that
It's
great.
not memorable.
It's not very memorable,
SimCity
and
4, SimCity 3000,
oh yeah, some
fantastic.
great music in those games, and especially the Rush Hour expansion pack for SimCity 4. I loved that. But no, City Skylines, I haven't really looked into the music too much, but when I was playing it, I did find that I did very much enjoy it. I want to say it reminded me a little bit of SimCity 4's more orchestrated pieces, but like I said, I haven't really played it much, and it's been a few days, so I don't remember. It's a fantastic game, and because it was made in Unity, the whole thing is in 3D, just like SimCity 5. You can rotate the camera around however you
Hmm.
want. All the simulation aspects are there. When you build a coal power plant, that air pollution is carried in whichever direction the wind is blowing. Water pollution that you dump out into the rivers go in the direction the river's flowing. Everything you'd expect and want from a city simulation game is there,
Hmm.
and it's so great.
Now, I'm trying to think where I was going to go with this.
There's,
Lost my train of thought.
yeah. Well, because it was made in Unity, there is a very active modding community as well. I believe somebody actually
Oh,
made
I know.
a flight simulator mod
Mm,
for it, so you can actually
really?
fly in an airplane with realistic physics through your city.
That is insane.
Yeah, and then I think there's also some first-person shooter mods out there too, because it was made in Unity. Unity has a built-in first-person shooter um, thing that you can just plop into a world, so it's just as easy as plopping that in there, and then there's your first-person shooter mod.
Now, wasn't SimCity 4 like, wasn't it 3D technically? But it rendered
I've
it
looked
in a
into it.
weird way.
They said that everything in the game was a 3D model. I don't think that was true though. I think
Because,
everything was a was a screenshot sort of a 3D model.
yeah, I
But
mean, they
there
were,
were some 3D models in the game though.
yeah, the cars were 3D, in the
Yeah, the
Rush
cars are
Hour.
3D. I want to say they claimed in an interview that the cursor was 3D, but I don't think that was true. So I remember in this article I read, they said that they couldn't make it so that you could rotate the camera freely because then the game would be 8 MB, and we can't do that because which at that time would have been ridiculous.
You mean
Nowadays it's kind of
gigabytes?
yeah, 8 gigs,
It
yeah,
was like megs. It's like there's
yeah.
no way that was that small. That's like SimCity 1. Or
Anyways, they said that if they made it so that you can move the camera around freely, then it would have been an 8 gig game, and you can't do that. But of course nowadays that's kind of standard. But
mhm.
it's an awesome game. It's got a great modding community. It's very easy to import custom building models into
Oh,
the game too.
that's what I want to do because
Yeah,
I don't
this
like
is
being limited to the
this is
stupid
like
standard.
the game, the city simulation game that everybody wanted when SimCity 5 was announced. This is what you want.
The game.
Yeah,
I
this
might
is
have
the
to
game
buy
to
that.
get, the city sim that you want.
But can you create like a metropolitan kind of area?
I want to say yeah because you
Look
can.
like suburb cities?
I think so. Again, I haven't really looked too far into it. I know some people. I want to say there's a mode where you can actually fully customize your city, like 100%, because somebody did make the entirety of San Andreas from Grand Theft Auto 5. Like they recreated the whole map, and then when they actually like loaded it up as a regular like game like save file, the city is like millions of dollars in debt.
Seems about right. Well, anyway,
Yeah, another game that I've been playing recently was Arkham Knight.
who is
Batman
it?
Arkham Knight.
I mean, I'm not playing it, but
Yeah.
that's the
You
big
you've
game right now.
yeah, you played the other Batman games, right?
I've only finished the first. I
Okay.
started the second and just couldn't do it.
Oh my God, Arkham City is like one of the best open world games. I feel like Arkham Knight um is really so far it has exceeded Arkham City in every way, but it's a absolutely fantastic game. I love the way Rocksteady has handled open world experiences with Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Um, like the whole idea of where you know how the kind of like the flow of these games are. Like there are these kind of side quests, like series of side quest missions that you can do
Yeah.
as you kind of go down the main story. And the way
Yep.
you find those is just by exploring the open world or on your way to a mission. You'll hit some trigger point and suddenly, hey, there's this little cinematic event or whatever, and now you've discovered this kind of side quest or series of side quest events, and it's just really really cool. I love it so much. There's this the open world now is it's like a district of, I think it is actually the entirety of Gotham City now. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of really cool
So
stuff. Like
it's yeah.
police cars are driving down the streets like chasing criminals, and you can like chase after them in the Batmobile, and then like eject yourself from the Batmobile, land on one of the criminals' cars, and like rip him out of the driver's seat, and then now you're fighting them on the ground as the police car like speeds by you. Some really really cool stuff you can do.
All right. And
But I don't want to say too much about it because there are a lot of
yeah,
spoilers
I don't
as
know
far as story
anything.
goes. Yeah. Definitely need to finish Arkham City before you play Arkham Knight because it picks up like right after it.
Anyway, we have a few topics today,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think the big topic for today is everything going digital.
yeah.
The future
Digital
of digital.
digital is a big thing right
Because
now.
the the reason this topic came up is recently Rockstar they patched San Andreas on Steam.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3,
Yeah, Grand
San
Theft
Andreas.
Auto. Well, it's not 3. It's just Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I thought. Oh, that's right. That because 3 is different.
3 was
Yeah,
the first 3D.
yeah.
Um,
So they patched it, but they actually just replaced the entire game with the Android version that had come out recently, which had a little bit. The graphics were a little better, but um,
um,
did not have all the music.
they removed, I think it was 7 songs,
hmm Now, it's
7
my
MP3s because they ran out of the license had
right.
expired,
The
and
license is expired, which is
and
also a thing happening. That's also kind of a thing
see
that's going on with Rock Band right now
that
as well.
is just, and they updated the game just out of the blue
Yeah.
apparently,
Um,
but
you were
and they
saying
also here's the
you
big thing.
have you have automatic updates disabled
Yeah,
on
and
your system right
sometimes
now.
it will automatically update something, and I'm like,
hmm
no,
Yeah.
don't. Stop downloading the same crap. But anyway, it also, through the update, erased all of your data. It's
Oh
gone.
yeah, all
It's
save
gone.
data. Yeah, because
All
it's a completely different
mods,
version of the
save
game.
data. Yeah,
And I believe well, that's weird though because had heard recently that most mods worked with the Android version.
really.
Yeah, that was when Vice City came out, I believe. A lot of people are saying that their mods with the PC version still worked with the Android version. I believe when San Andreas came out on Android, it was the same thing. Or maybe I'm getting my games mixed up. I don't know what came out first on Android, but I want to say it still used the same engine, a lot of the same code, so a lot of the mods still worked.
Yeah, I think it was up till 4 used a completely different engine.
Grand Theft Auto 4? Or oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But where we're getting at here is this going to happen more often?
You know, I it's hard to say because I feel like there had to have been a very good reason for them to update to the Android version. Maybe they felt like, okay, these song licenses are expiring, we can't renew them for whatever reason. So instead of just patching out these songs, how about instead we just update it to the Android version so everyone has a better experience? Sure, there are some drawbacks, but at least they're not just losing songs.
The thing is, it's like it came out of the blue.
That's
There
true.
there was like no warning. And
Yeah,
that
and
just
obviously this is going to be a thing on a company basis. Of course, it's something that will kind of be a risk. With that, no, I've had games. I think Tron 2.0, one of my favorite games, me being a huge Tron fan. Every update you installed would nullify your previous save files, and because of that, I've always been a little nervous about, um, installing patches for games. Um, of course, I feel a little easier about it through Steam because most of the time you don't lose your save data, but this obviously is an exception.
And yeah, the worry about all digital,
Hmm
you technically don't own the game.
That's right. You own the right to launch the software, which I believe has actually always been the case. Um,
Yeah.
Even with disc-based games,
Well, I'm
it's
not.
just something that's a little more prevalent
I
in the
mean, you
digital
still have
space.
that physical copy. They can't take it away from you.
That's true. And whether or not they can take away a digital copy, that's kind of based around um, the digital distribution platforms terms of service agreement, whatnot.
Yeah, and another big fear is if Steam ever goes down, it
Hmm
goes out of business,
Yeah,
or Valve goes out of business. What's going to happen?
yeah. I feel like realistically, what would happen is another company would buy them up and take over ownership of Steam. But there's always the possibility that won't happen, and it's really hard to say what would happen in
It's
that event.
not going to happen anytime soon.
Direct to Drive, I think, was something that went out of business recently. I want to say GameFly picked them up. I bought one game off of Direct to Drive ever, and it was because I want to say they were one of the first digital distribution platforms. And the game I bought from them was World in Conflict. Um, a great game, by the way. I love it so much. But I need to look on there sometime soon and see if I actually still have access to my digital copy of it.
See,
It's been so long since I've actually launched it or connected the Director Drive in the first place. So
that is always a concern.
Origin always kind of scared me as a platform because one of their things in their little terms of service agreement was it was if you don't log into your EA account for 2 years or something,
What?
then they delete your account and you lose access to all the games on there that you own.
I'd have to look that up. That's just
Does not sound,
asinine.
yeah. I need to look that up to see if that's actually true. I remember that being a thing though, but uh,
Yeah, no,
I think
no.
there are pros and cons to um, getting games digitally. I know with a digital game, it can be a little the actual purchase process can be more convenient and quicker, and
Yeah,
you don't have to get up to put a disc in. It's just already there, so that's very convenient. Not having to carry as many discs around with you is nice, but that means you also can't really take the game to your friend's house, and
yeah.
download times can be really long too.
And it used to be you couldn't get refunds on Steam, but now
They've modified that a little bit.
you
I
can.
want to say it's only with certain titles,
Really?
but I may have read something wrong. But yeah, the way that works, I believe, is you have was it 48 hours within purchasing the game, and if you have played the game for less than 10 hours, you can demand a refund.
It was 2 hours of
Oh, okay.
playtime, and
Yeah,
like
less
I
than
thought it
two
was
hours
like
of playtime.
a week or two or a month.
Maybe that sounds. Yeah, I think it's like 2 weeks and less than 2 hours of playtime. You can request a refund and have the game removed from your account.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's a good thing because there are so many games coming out now that are just uh, so broken. Like a lot of these early access games, for example, you'll buy it and it turns out, oh, they've stopped updating this because I bought this and it turns out that the game is broken and the developer hasn't released an update for about a year. So then you can request a refund.
hmm and it's kind of a mixed bag. The whole, it's more convenient. It can
Mhm.
be quicker to get your game. It can
Yeah.
also be a lot slower.
And
Depends
I'm
on your
not,
internet speed.
yeah, and I'm not one to detest Steam as a platform because my Steam library has 478 games in it.
But
So,
the thing, the drop back, they have sales all the time.
mhm.
But I think they have too many sales. I know it sounds crazy.
I know that argument's been made.
I've
Um,
been saying that since the beginning. Since I
mhm.
first got it, I'm like, this is just too ridiculous.
It can devalue games, I feel, but
Well,
um,
that and Humble Bundle absolutely
there have
devalue the
been
games.
independent developers who have posted charts, showing their income,
Hmm.
uh, and they have timestamps for like Steam Summer Sale or Humble Bundle, whatever, and their income, even though the price of their game is decreased so heavily, their income for that game increases exponentially, like the overall income. So they actually make more money when their game is on sale for a cheap price or in a humble bundle, which
Interesting.
a developer shouldn't have to rely on a sale. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes that's what it takes to get your game going.
sometimes, and that's also good PR as well. You can a sale can promote your game and kind of get the word out there. A lot of people will now have access to your game because so many people bought it,
Hmm.
and they'll tell their friends, and some of their friends might buy it at full price.
Another thing, when I have all these games in my library, because of all the sales, I don't play half of them.
That's also an issue with me. I am very guilty of having bought humble bundles specifically for library padding. So,
I,
I'll
I didn't do it
scroll.
for that, but
Mhm.
if there's something I want in there, I will
I
snag it.
mean, I'm scrolling through my games list right now. Looking to see here. I don't think I've never once started Panzer Corps. I've never started um, Puzzle Agent. I've never once launched Red Faction Armageddon, and I've never launched any of the Sam and Max games. There's just so many games I own that I've never launched, and
Yeah.
it's a problem. I need. It's time for an intervention. Hopefully not an extravention.
And another thing, it's been like you buy something years ago,
Hmm.
and it's just outdated as a game now, and it's like, well, I just kind of wasted money, and it's
Well,
like,
I feel like I've never really had that happen. I mean, I like playing old games all the time, and
well, I mean, some games hold up well, but others, it's just like it's a
mhm.
kind of game like Grand Theft Auto does not hold up well. The old like the San
That's
Andreas,
true. That's true.
because the newer ones are just because
They
the
just have
game
better controls.
it's just better physics, more fun
Hmm.
physics. That's half the point is the
I mean, there's a
physics.
lot of people who prefer San Andreas over
Well,
4.
only thing San Andreas I could see they had like RPG elements to it, and it
Hmm.
also had I don't know the
Well, it's a
story.
completely different
The
experience
story
from.
might hit home to some other people
Mhm.
more.
Well, it's a different experience from what you'd
Yeah,
have
it's a
in 4.
different
They're both
experience.
wildly different games. Of course, 4 has better physics and graphics, but there's some people who prefer the less realistic physics and graphic style of San Andreas.
And I'm not. I want the newest thing
Yeah,
when it comes
I
to
mean,
that.
again, it all comes down to preference, and
The story has
that's
to be
why
ridiculous.
there are people who prefer San Andreas over 4. It's like they played 4. They didn't care much for the more realistic graphics, which is perfectly fine. I can understand why, because to a lot of these people, Grand Theft Auto has never been about being an incredibly realistic environment. It's been about kind of being this sort of cartoony parody of real life environments.
I mean, it's not even realistic. I mean, the
Mhm.
physics in 4 and 5 are whack. Like,
Yeah,
but it's like more fun, like physics,
it can be. It can be.
because the ragdolls and stuff, and
Mhm.
then It's just like shooting out a tire and it exploding, and they're just swerving around, swerving out of control and
Mhm.
crashing. Like the crash physics, just the damage, and it's just more fun to me.
Yeah, and again, personal preference type thing. But no, I feel like as far as the digital future goes, um, I feel like I don't want to see us go all digital, but I feel
No.
like digital is a good option to have.
What I like are those combos. You buy the hard
Yeah,
copy, and you get like a Steam key, but you
mm,
can decide if you want to use the Steam key,
yeah.
or you can just install it.
That's not really done too often either.
It's just a shame. I mean, I know the Total War games did it. I don't know if they
Oh, did
still do
they?
it.
I want to say, oh, what was it? It was I think some indie game. I think it might have been Trine did that as well, and then but yeah, I mean, I think Wasteland, like games like Wasteland 2 and Left 4 Dead 2, all the Valve games for that matter,
Yeah.
they just have a disc and a Steam key, and the disc just activates the game on your Steam account, or you enter the Steam key and then you use the disc to install from the disc. That way, you don't have to wait as long.
Hmm.
Now, um, like I said, I feel like digital, I feel should remain a good option, but I don't feel like we should go 100% all digital.
I agree.
Because again, having physical backups is definitely the safest way to go. Now,
Because
I
then
will
I'll own it
say,
forever until it
um, independent
disintegrates.
independent developers who are operating on a much lower budget, digital only is a better path for them
Yes.
because it's a much lower
Yeah.
entry
And a
barrier.
lot of
There's
those, they do a physical release once they have
hmm
a lot of money. Like Shovel Knight,
yeah, I
that
didn't
is
know
now,
Shovel Knight has a physical release now.
it's yes, now it's coming.
So I'm going to be buying Shovel Knight as a physical release for some platform in the near future. Stay tuned. I love Shovel Knight,
More
by the way.
money,
It's one of my favorite games.
buy it again.
Um, next topic. I was at a kind of entertainment store. I was moving, and I found this book at the store. It was called Trouble in Zombie Town. Is a Minecraft novel in the Game Night 999 adventure series, based off of that title. And I'll read the full title on Amazon on the Amazon page here. It's called Trouble in Zombie hyphen Town colon The Mystery of Herobrine colon Book One colon A Game Night 999 Adventure colon An Unofficial Minecrafter's Adventure.
What?
There's a lot of colons in this title. I just wanted to bring this up because I just found it to be one of these just baffling things. The main character in the book is named Game Night 999.
I don't want to read that every page. I do not want to. No.
Well, it's the thing is what I gathered from this is that this is written by like some high school student who maybe like wrote it in class, and then his teacher's like, hey, you can publish this stuff. No, I looked at this guy's website. His name is Mark Cheverton. This guy looks like he's like 30 something years old. He's got like two kids, and he's married, and
Is
has like a
this like official Minecraft stuff?
no. This is an unofficial novel, not authorized by Microsoft or Mojang or anything.
It's called.
It's called an unofficial novel, Trouble in Zombie Town, the mystery of Herobrine, game book one, a Game Night 999 adventure, an unofficial Minecrafter's adventure. A lot of words and colons in that title. But
Mm,
turns out this guy actually has like I was looking at his website on the Meet the Author section, and it turns out this guy has like he I'm looking at his biography right now. He has a master's degree in physics, worked for a fiber optics startup company, and he now works at a Fortune 500 company's industrial research institution, working in R&D.
What the
So he's like he's like this incredibly like successful person who just like writes Minecraft fan fiction on his spare time. This guy is awesome. Like, at first I was like, it's just like some high school student, but then I look at that and I'm like, holy shit, this is like the most amazing person in the world.
Okay, then.
Looking at the plot synopsis, it looks like Game Night 999 is a griefer in Minecraft, and he gets sucked into the game, much like his sister apparently, who has also been sucked into the game, and he has to face a new enemy to save her.
Moving on.
Definitely moving on is a good segue.
Yeah.
You had a couple other less confusing topics to talk about.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Shigeru Miyamoto. You know that.
Yes.
That one game designer, he did like Mario.
It's not really. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people have played Mario.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
A lesser known indie game from is it Nintendo?
But I think his biggest one is F-Zero. That's his biggest franchise.
It's even that. It's not too big. Nintendo. That's the developer, right?
Yeah, non Nintendo or something. Anyway.
So Miyamoto, talking about why the Wii U is not taking off. You mentioned the premise of this article. That was what you mentioned the article's about. What's his reasoning?
He's got a few reasons. And this is on NPR, National Public Radio.
Oh, he was actually on NPR?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
The question was, the first Wii sold really well.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii U, not so much. Do you think part of it is the price, that the Wii has not sold so well? And he answers. He basically says that he thought the price was a little high. But he also says that shouldn't matter if people if the console has games, and if like he's trying to explain basically what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Like after he made the point of the price, people were confused what it was, and I think that's was
because all their emphasis. They really made it a point that they wanted to focus on the controller, and everyone thought it was an add-on for the Wii.
And he also,
I feel like,
I
was gonna say, I feel like price isn't an issue with the Wii U because it's the lowest price system of the bunch. If they had a bunch of games on there that people wanted to play, then I feel like it would sell very well.
I think another issue. Well, he also states that he brings up tablets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading through this article again just to see what.
I feel like tablets, smartphones would be more of competition to the 3DS.
Yeah, he thought the tablet type functionality would would appeal to more people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like it should be appealing to more game designers, so we should be seeing more games available.
Well, yeah, and he also stated he thought more developers would use that, but they haven't. And a lot of those guys are on actual tablets, and you're not going to get that audience you've had with the Wii.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like one of the problems that's also kind of prevalent is that we have these second screen type app experiences with tablets now that kind of make this whole second screen tablet experience that was kind of an exclusive thing to the Wii U now possible on other consoles, because a lot of people own tablets. It's not like, well, if you're one of the 10 people who own a tablet, then you can do this amazing thing. But no, it turns out that a lot of people actually own tablets now, and it's kind of made that whole kind of appeal a little pointless. And some people think it's just the tablet and that it's a tablet-based gaming system and
Yeah,
they already have a tablet. And it's part of why the 3DS is starting to lose sales is that people have smartphones already. So,
it's getting to
um,
the point that gaming only handhelds or something, console, they're kind of
losing their relevance in the
fading.
market. Yeah,
I don't know because we don't know what the NX is. I don't know
that's true.
what they're
They've been
going.
very skeptical because they say they don't want anyone to steal the ideas they have for it. Apparently, it's going to be something very unique because that's kind of Nintendo's thing with their consoles. They don't make just the next gaming system that you're going to play Call of Duty on or whatever. They want to come up with something unique that will allow developers to create experiences that can only be experienced on their console.
I also kind of think I think we will might always have things that only function. They don't have like a I guess gaming devices or stuff that isn't a, like I guess what I'm trying to say is like that the one phone, the PlayStation phone. It had like a slide out
Uh,
like controls, like
yeah,
a
yeah.
gamepad slide out, which
And it
wasn't
had
very
two little sticks, and you
successful.
could play Vita games on it, I think. Or no, you could play PlayStation games on it, and then there were some games that were made explicitly for it, I believe.
Yeah, I know someone who had it,
Hmm.
but like I'm not sure. Like would Nintendo would they make like their own tablet? Will they?
Well,
Because will they
one,
use Android? Will they use their own
I
stuff
think
that makes that?
they did actually explicitly say that it will not be an Android-based device or device rather.
Because if they I don't they still they're gonna always have a market,
Yeah.
that Nintendo core market.
Well, they did say that it's going to be a companion device to the 3DS and the Wii U. Now, this can mean a lot of things.
They
I
also said
feel.
that about the DS, and
Oh, did
re-
they?
that replaced the Game Boy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like one possible explanation for this could be maybe, and what if it's like uh, what am I trying to say? What if it's a VR headset? Everyone's doing it. PlayStation's got one coming out. Microsoft just bought, or just partnered rather, with Oculus Rift and Valve's VR um, headset manufacturer.
Yeah, I think another one of the other articles, Reggie Fils-Aime, the president of Nintendo of America, also touched upon VR and
Oh, did
mobile.
he?
Yeah, in the another article, it's in the Forbes website,
Hmm.
and he talks about. He also stated that I don't know if we want to like this kind of fits in with the other with what we're talking about, but he does he says something interesting that he wants Nintendo to make more RPGs.
Hmm. It seems like those are generally very, very, very popular amongst Nintendo's more hardcore fans, and they want to have more appeal amongst that crowd, it seems, as of late. So, I
Because
feel like,
no, for the Wii U, he wants it
oh
for
yeah, yeah,
the
because
Wii.
there's a lot of people who are excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I don't know how it's going to sell. I don't know how I don't know how available it's going to
I
be, but
think it will sell well
you know,
because how
Xenoblade Chronicles
popular.
on the Wii, even though it was a very limited release, sold out very quickly.
Shulk is very popular.
Hmm. And Um, they also had the other Project Treehouse games as well that sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that will sell well.
Hmm.
I don't think it'll sell well as Splatoon
Now,
or
on the topic of VR again, real quick, I know a while back, kind of semi-related, there was a hoax. I forgot what it was called, but it was when it was called Nintendo Revolution or something, and back when the Wii was only known as the Nintendo Revolution, only by the name. None of its features were known. So somebody made this very high production value fake video of a trailer for the Nintendo Revolution, which they showed as a virtual reality headset that would scan in your surroundings and generate game environments based on your surroundings.
Hmm.
And of course, it was fake, but it was a very, very convincing, very high production value trailer, which I thought was kind of amazing.
And
But
if you wanna,
oh no, I wouldn't say anything. I was kind of finishing my
you're
sentence,
just
but
blabbering.
you were saying if he wanted to what?
When he talks about VR, Reggie,
Yeah.
he they brought up the question about how VR is becoming big, and he responds, it's like that the industry is very early into VR, but they were early in AR, augmented reality, with the
Nintendo, yeah.
3DS.
Mhm.
And he says it's like beyond tech to them. And he says there needs to be two things here for this to work. And they were going to want to get into it. It needs to be fun to them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it needs to be social, which I find
That's very interesting.
I don't like. It has to be something multiple people in one room could play,
Oh, I see.
which
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how I
feel like
feel about that.
that's kind of what they've attempted to do with the Wii U, with some of their augmented reality games on the gamepad. Look at Wii Party U, and it's Find Me, I think is what it's called. There's some game on Wii Party U where
Great game.
there's four players on this one map. You all play from like this kind of you're playing split screen, so you're kind of you have your own third person camera, and you all move around, and you're basically there's Mii's in animal costumes everywhere, and you're trying to find the person who's got the gamepad, and the person on the gamepad wants to be found faster than anyone else. So, um, the person on the gamepad looks around with the gamepad, kind of this augmented reality type thing, and they're basically describing what they see to everyone else.
Hmm.
And it's a lot of fun, especially when you kind of switch out people in the party or whatever. Um, all the stuff in there is great fun, but that's a really good example of how they've kind of like tried to make augmented reality, or virtual reality rather, kind of a more social experience.
Hmm.
Again, kind of playing into like a kind of a second screen type experience.
See, I don't know how they're gonna VR
Hmm.
that how they're going to make that more social because to me VR I kind of want to be not social. I kind of want to be isolated in my own
Yeah, I
world.
mean, and I'm sure there will be
Metroid,
games
damn it.
if if Nintendo does decide to do a VR headset type thing, uh, I feel like um, we will see kind of a mix of more social VR experiences, kind of party game type experiences, and single player, more isolated experiences that are meant to be more immersive. I think there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with VR, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it.
I'm just excited for Oculus Rift
Hmm.
because I want to play. Well,
I'm a
I
big
don't think.
fan of Elite Dangerous, and I
Yeah,
want
we
an
know.
Oculus Rift for it so bad.
The thing is with VR, the problem here with on PC
Hmm.
is is our developers going to update their game to use that or make their
Hmm.
game to use that. I don't think a lot of them are because it just costs money.
There's actually a lot of games out there right now that already have VR support for kind of those prototype Oculus Rift things. Surgeon Simulator is one of them. Elite Dangerous has full support for it. Star Citizen, I think, is
I
announced
know the
too.
Doom games because I mean John Carmack is working on it. Hell, Doom will
That
definitely
would be, ooh.
scary. Like
Yeah,
any of
there you
them,
go.
like any of them, like
Yeah.
holy, like that's the game I want to play.
Hmm.
I wonder if
Um,
Elder Scrolls gonna.
that could be interesting. But yeah, I feel like VR is going to be a big thing. It's that's what everyone is kind of expecting it to be. It's expected to be the next big thing in the industry. Like we had color displays, then we had HD TV, then 3D TV, 3D displays without glasses, and now VR is kind of
Well,
expected to become the next big thing.
yeah, but I think 3D hasn't taken off
3D didn't ever really take off. In fact, I think Sony actually gave up on 3D. And
because it's like people just want like motion controls. They like those have died out now.
mhm.
People just want a game pad in their hand and this flat screen, and they're good.
I feel like I like that Nintendo tries to do something new because they want to stand out and they want to have experiences that cannot be experienced on other platforms. And
Yeah.
that's kind of been their strategy. It's kind of been a hit and miss, sort of.
I mean,
The Wii and the Wii U.
Nintendo Land and Wii Party U and Game and Wario, I
Mm,
think are all fun social games. Like those are the kind of games I will go to someone's house and play.
mm.
I don't want to go in someone's house and play split screen crap anymore. Like
Yeah. And
because it
one of
just
the
gets
things, there are some
annoying.
3D TVs that actually support, or some games that if you have a 3D TV, they'll support this thing where instead of both players in a two-player game, they'll put on their 3D glasses, and instead of seeing a 3D image on both of them and playing a game in split screen, instead they're both playing the game full screen and they're getting a 2D image. So the left eye image is actually the only image the player one's going to see is their full
I
screen. Player two will only see their full
I
screen.
I actually have a TV that does that.
Hmm.
The PlayStation TV,
Yeah.
which was really expensive when it came out, but I snagged it for like
Black
100
Friday
bucks.
sales, man.
Like a couple of years ago, $100.
Oh yeah.
Came with glasses and a game. And, like, the input lag is not good for a gaming TV. I expected that thing to be like perfect, but no, it's
Hmm.
not. I can't use it
Dang.
to play competitively for that MLB 15. Can't use it.
But I feel like VR could take off. 3D TVs didn't really, but I feel like there are companies trying to kind of get around because I feel like the big barrier with 3D TVs was that you had to wear glasses. Now they've got glasses-free 3D TVs coming out. So,
Yeah. Oh God.
and there are some companies saying
Alright.
that they have significantly improved the field of in which you can, actually see the 3D effect without it breaking and whatnot.
Mhm.
So, I feel like it's something that could work. Maybe it can make a comeback, but
And
I don't think we're going to see a lot of support for that. But I feel like we will see a good amount of support for uh, VR, at least when it comes out, because there's already a lot of software out there that does support it, and it's going to make its first big hit in the gaming space, is what everyone's saying.
yeah, because that is a lot more immersive than 3D.
Hmm.
3D, after a while, it just gets eh. But with VR, well, I would hope it wouldn't become eh after a while, but usually everything does. But I
I feel
would,
like from a game design perspective, with 3D, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do when the player is actually able to perceive depth. Um, I think Kid Icarus Uprising was one of those games where you're flying through these fields of lasers, and it can be kind of difficult to kind of see where those lasers actually are in 3D space without that 3D effect. The 3D effect really does help with you know helping you determine where you need to be.
hmm yeah. But a lot of people turn that off, the 3D
Hmm.
off on the 3DS,
Yeah,
and with VR, I just wonder
that's
the
inherently 3D too.
yeah, and the thing you put on your head is that going to become a problem? after a while. A lot of people don't want to put that on. They don't want to look stupid.
Ooh, that's true.
People want something that is they don't really want to wear anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, having to put on those glasses, that's what really affected, those 3D TVs in a negative way.
Too. You had to pay like $60 for some glasses or something. It wasn't cheap.
Now there was an article a few days ago I saw. I wouldn't be able to find it now, but they were basically talking about how 3 or VR hasn't worked in the past. The Virtual Boy was a failure. Sega's VR headset was shot down before it even managed to take off the ground. But this person was saying that he feels like Oculus Rift is kind of going to be a different thing because it's more of instead of it being, its own platform or it's something, closed platform, it's going to be something you can use on an open platform, which really expands that barrier for what can be done with VR. And I feel like that's what's really going to help it. The allure of being able to use certain kinds of software versus not being able to use that software, and the barrier to entry being wearing this headset.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like being able to use certain software is going to be, because there's going to be a lot of software available for it, that's going to be the big selling point.
Yeah.
So I think that just about wraps up our show for tonight, I think.
It hasn't really that much news that I noticed.
Yeah.
The past week.
It's been a little slow. Post E3 stuff, I suppose. So
we're in the dog days of summer.
There's still big games coming out. Fallout 4 in November, XCOM 2 in November, and then of course Metal Gear Solid 5 in September. I'm very excited about that.
I'm trying to think what else was coming out.
I want to say Doom isn't until next year. There's a couple of things. There's a couple things coming out this year, I think, but a good year, 2015 so far, but good year for games. So can't say I'm disappointed.
Yeah. I don't even think how many games have I actually played this year? I don't think I played that much.
You scored like -1 on the 4 in February challenge.
The what challenge?
You haven't heard of that?
Oh, the Born in February?
No,
challenge?
4 in February.
What the hell is that?
You have to try and finish 4 games in February.
Oh no, I can't even finish one.
You scored like a -1.
Well, the game
on your 4 in February.
A lot of the games I play, you don't really finish.
Yeah.
Just...
Well, anyways, guys, that's our show for tonight. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode coming soon.
And I don't know. I think within a week, probably.
Yeah, hopefully. We want to try and make this a regularly scheduled thing.
I'd say weekly.
It'd be awesome, yeah. All right, guys. Well, you have a great morning or night. I don't know when you're listening to this, but we're recording this right now. It's 2 a.m., and I'm going to bed. Good night.
And that is it for the late night KC Gamers podcast. Whatever we're going to call
it. We have a name, maybe. Not locked down.
Yep. So long. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Whatever else there is.
Merry Christmas, maybe.
No, it was Canada Day.
So. Happy Canada Day.
Well, have a great 4th of July weekend.
That too.
Yeah, hopefully I release it before that. Independence Day in the United States.
If this comes out after July 4th, then I hope you had a great 4th of July. That's our show. Peace out. And cut.